Alright, welcome to Deer Driven. Today, I want to share my first self-filmed hunt with you, but I want to start from the beginning and kind of just explain how my year unfolded. It started this summer, really, and this summer I just bought this new camera. Sherman and I were going around to a bunch of different public spots and some spots that he had that were private, and we were taking just a ton of pictures of bucks, and we were seeing a lot of really nice bucks. I was really impressed with how many big bucks we were seeing on public and just the caliber of some of the ones that we were seeing. As the season approached, a couple of things kind of slowed us down. Number one, football season really kicked off for me, which consumed a lot of my time, and then teaching as well, just through this pandemic. And so I didn't get to hunt a whole lot early season. And then as October and November approached, I was able to get out. I passed on one buck that I had seen before. He was a really wide buck with not a whole lot of tine length, and the other thing that I kind of ran into was a lot of hunting pressure. There was a night where Sherman sent me a text while I was in the tree stand, and he was passing the parking lot to the place that I had been hunting at, and there were like 9 or 10 other cars, not including me, on this little piece. But that kind of had me down a little bit, knowing that I hadn't been out there early season and that this place was being pressured like that. And right when I started feeling like this, I actually ended up having an encounter with a really nice 10-point, one of the ones that we had pictures of. And I wasn't able to seal the deal on that deer. I had a doe behind me snorting, and the buck started to run off. I was able to get him stopped, and like I said, I hit a tree limb, so it didn't work out. At that point, I knew I was going to have to start thinking about other places to hunt and how I was going to get on another deer. Coop, my roommate from college, actually gave me a call, and he asked me to go up to Chillicothe with him. I was able to go up to Chillicothe opening day of rifle season, and I was able to shoot this 8-pointer right here in the corner. But the way it works here in Missouri is if you shoot a buck that opening day of rifle season, now you've got to wait until archery to shoot another buck. So I had 2 weeks there, but it worked out for me. It gave me some time to really study the maps, figure out where I wanted to be on public before I was able to come back out that opening day of archery. Alright, I'm just going to do a quick interview. It's 2:23. It gets dark here about 4:50, I think. 4:50, 4:58, somewhere in there. I'm on a piece of public, which I thought looked pretty good on the map. I thought it was a little bit obvious that it looked so good. And I talked to Sherman. Sherman seemed to know exactly what I was talking about. And he'd been back in here and he had seen some deer. But I did see some rubs in here. It's hard to tell how old they are because it's been raining. But the good thing about the rain is I can see all the fresh tracks, and there are plenty of fresh tracks back in here. You probably just heard that shot. There. I was just in the middle of an interview, and I had a buck right behind me. He just took off running, stomping his feet and everything. He wasn't huge though, so it's probably a good thing. I also realized I didn't have my release on when it happened, just because I don't like to put it on until I get in the tree, so it's not banging against everything. There's some combines sitting down here, actually like right where I wanted to sit. I thought that's where the deer were going to go to feed on the corn, but my confidence is up a little bit knowing that he was just right in here, so we'll see what happens. I got one. You can see him dead from my tree here. My first shot wasn't perfect. I wish I could change that. Obviously you can't, that's part of it. But I did get him on the ground. This is the biggest public land buck I've ever shot. I'm really thankful for it. He's down right there, man. I want to be way more excited, but I really wish I would have made just an awesome shot on the first shot. But he's down, and I'm super thankful that I got this opportunity. So
let's go. Dude, heck yeah, man. Let's go.
Okay, today is the reopening of archery. Kind of my thought coming in here was just that we weren't sure if the bucks were still chasing. We thought the deer were starting to group up based on what we had seen there at the late part of rifle season. Kind of seemed like we were seeing does that were in big groups, which would signify that the bucks weren't really chasing anymore. And when that happens, they're going to start looking for those food sources so they can restock. I mean, they've been running around chasing does, and they've got to replenish themselves so that they can make it through winter. So I was hunting a food source, but I was about maybe 300 yards, maybe a little further, I'd say, from the food source. Between bedding and the food source, when I got out here, I found muddy areas that were just, they had been flattened from the rain beating down on it, and I was able to see where there was fresh tracks. I also saw one set of tracks that looked pretty big, and I couldn't tell if the tracks were just going further in the mud or if it was a buck, but I felt more comfortable with those, and that's why I set up where I did. There was kind of a V that came together of two trails, and I was right on the corner of some timber right where those came together. But as far as bucks go, I'm tagged out right now. I'm pumped about it and just really thankful. I couldn't be happier with the two that I got this year. I might be the luckiest guy in the woods right now, and I don't know, pretty proud of it, but